السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. أحمده وأصلي على رسوله الكريم محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير، وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Praise be to Allah who honored us and created us in the best forms, who endowed us with the ability to speak and communicate with our tongue, which is one of his greatest blessings to humankind. May the peace and the blessings of Allah be upon Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his family, his companions, and all those who follow them in righteousness till the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تعالى وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. As we observe the coming of the new Hijrah year 1445, I will introduce to you today a historical perspective of the Prophet's arrival to Medina and his efforts to establish the role of the masjid in order to empower the community. When we observe the way Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam started his journey from Mecca to Medina, he carefully planned his way, taking into consideration every precautionary measure to safeguard those who were with him. So with that, we know that the purpose of the Hijrah, it was not like, as some may suggest, an escape or a flight or going in search of sanctuary or political asylum. Rather, it was an objective, conscious, deliberate, and positive efforts to establish Islam as a society, a culture, and as a civilization. We notice that the Hijrah was the focal point between not building masajid into a building masajid. So 13 years, for example, in Mecca, we don't see that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam built any masjid, except we know that you have al-Masjid al-Haram. So it was already there from the time of Ibrahim alayhi salam. And we notice something also, that it was not called in the Quran all the time as a masjid, right? But it was called Bayt. So when we go over the Quran, إن أول بيت وضع للناس للذي ببكة مباركا. Okay, so it is the first, not masjid, it's the first house. وضع للناس. It's the house of Allah. Now we say that the masjid is the house of Allah. And this is the thing that you need really to explore. What is the difference between talking about a masjid that existed in Mecca as the house of Allah, and then in Medina, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam referred to his masjid in Medina as Masjidi Hadha, this masjid of mine. So, but it is an opportunity for us really to talk about the importance of the masjid and why Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when he arrived at Medina, he started building not masjid, masajid. And many people, sometimes we think that Al-Masjid al-Nabawi, the Masjid of Al-Madinah, is the first masjid, but it is not. When you go to for Hajj or for Umrah, and you go to Mecca and Medina, you're going to come with couple of masajid. Like what? They take you to a place called Masjid Quba. And what is Masjid Quba? Today, Masjid Quba is a huge place. But at the time of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, it never existed like that. But who established this place? And when? It was Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam who established the masjid that's called today as Masjid Quba. And Masjid Quba is about like 3.5 miles from Medina. And to address the issue why he was interested to build masajid. So Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam stopped in Quba before his arrival to Medina. And interestingly, he stayed there for 2 weeks before heading toward Medina, which I said is about 3.5 miles, but 3.5 miles is a long distance compared to those days. So he stayed there for 2 weeks, and he established the masjid in Quba. And then after that, he headed toward Medina, where what we know that the very first thing that he did, he started to search for a place. And when his camel arrived, the people started to compete. Everybody wants him and to stay at his place. But Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, let my camel decide. And the camel started to go back and forth until he landed in a particular area. It was the house of Abu Ayyub al-Ansari. And Abu Ayyub al-Ansari radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he said, I give this land to you, O Rasulullah. And he built his masjid there. And the masjid started to be expanded throughout the history. So this is two. Number two. Also there is a masjid, is called Masjid al-Qiblatayn, the masjid of the two Qibla. And this is also a little far away, but not by miles, maybe less than a mile from the Masjid al-Nabawi. And the reason this masjid became known today, and it's a huge masjid today, that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam went there once. And this is to visit the Bani Salama. Bani Salama was a tribe, but they lived far away from the masjid. So he established for them that place and became a place for them to do the salat. Why it was called Masjid al-Qiblatayn, the masjid of the two Qibla? Because in the beginning, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam used to pray toward al-Masjid al-Aqsa. But within him, inside him, he wanted to pray toward the Kaaba. And thus, when he was in Mecca, and every time, and even later, every time he wanted to pray, he would choose a direction that face al-Masjid al-Aqsa and face the Kaaba also at the same time, because his heart was attached to al-Masjid al-Haram. And until the time when he was visiting the tribe of Bani Salama, and he went to their masjid, and I believe he was praying Asr, and in the second rak'ah when he was making sujood, the ayah came, قَدْ نَرَى تَقَلُّبَ وَجْهِكَ فِي السَّمَاءِ. We can see that you are trying to turn your face toward certain direction. فَلَنُوَلِّيَنَّكَ قِبْلَةً تَرْضَاهَا. We're going to give you a qibla that you will be pleased with. فَوَلِّ وَجْهَكَ شَطْرَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ. And the order came to change the direction of the prayers toward the Kaaba. So Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam was praying Asr, and then he was doing the sujood in the second rak'ah. So when he stood up again, he turned toward al-Masjid al-Haram in Mecca, al-Kaaba, and he continued the prayers. And then the Sahaba started to tell each other. And so this is another masjid that existed. There is another masjid also, Masjid al-Ghamama. When you go to al-Madinah, they will take you to Masjid al-Ghamama, even though it's not, as I learned, is used for the 5-time prayers, because he's very close to al-Masjid al-Haram. But Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he used to use this place to do Salat al-Eid. And in particular, his final Salat al-Eid, he took the community, I believe it's because of a matter of space. So he took them to that area, and he did Salat al-Eid there. And in another occasion, it was reported that he wanted to do Salat al-Istisqa. It's a special prayers when you don't see, when there is no rain. And then you go and you pray for the rain. So he took them also to this masjid. It's called Al-Ghamama. So the point here that why the masjid was so important. It is not an issue of that, I'm going to see Allah in the masjid or to face him, or it's not like that only. Don't ever think. And if you read the ayah in the arch here, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَشْرِقُ وَالْمَغْرِبُ. To Allah belong the Mashriq and the Maghrib, the sunrise and the sunset. فَأَيْنَمَا تُوَلُّوا فَثَمَّ وَجْهُ اللَّهِ. Whether you turn this way or you turn it is at the end you are trying to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the masjid has something else. So my curiosity led me to ask people. So I asked good number of people throughout the 50 years of my work, and there was a common answer was given to me. They said, when we go to the masjid, we feel peace of mind. We feel connection. We feel community connection. We feel divine connection. And I understand, I know that there are people who do not, like, boycott the masjid. They don't want the masjid. They have their own way of ibadah, if there is ibadah, but ibadah means connection with life. But those who frequently come to the masjid, they come because they have peace of mind. And they feel the connection with the past, and they feel that they are together, and they feel that they are they can call themselves a community, a society, instead of living in diverse situation outside. So they see themselves as together. That's why in the beginning I said that the concept of building the masajid by our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam was to empower the community. And it was the priority. So today you go to the masajid, especially on Friday, and you find it almost full. Why? And why people like leave their work, and many people, they take time off really to go and do the prayer. And many people, they work on their schedule just to go to the masjid. And many people, they feel that, oh yeah, we can relax at home. But you relax at home, what do? Relax. You watch TV, you check your phone, your Facebook, your this. It's all something that may take you away from the connection. So the masajid was something very important. I want to bring to your attention this ayah that can help us understand the role of the masjid in our life. That in Surah At-Tawbah, chapter number 9, you find this ayah: لَمَسْجِدٌ أُسِّسَ عَلَى التَّقْوَى مِنْ أَوَّلِ يَوْمٍ أَحَقُّ أَن تَقُومَ فِيهِ. So a masjid there was established based on taqwa from the very first day. It means those who built that masjid, they did it for the love of Allah. And they said, أَحَقُّ أَن تَقُومَ فِيهِ. That's the place that you need to get together and be together. And listen to this. فِيهِ رِجَالٌ يُحِبُّونَ أَن يَتَطَهَّرُوا. In the masjid, there will be people. I know the term is rijal, man, but it includes man and woman. So there, in this masjid, there will be people who would like to be purified. That's the point here. So the masjid is not just that you connect yourself with the Creator, it's also you connect yourself with yourself, where you can see that we are sitting next to each other, and different culture, different background, different language, different color, and you can see the beauty of Islam, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala established the concept of the masajid so that we can be together. Let's go to Sayyidina Ibrahim. Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he put the foundation of Al-Masjid Al-Haram, Al-Kaaba, what did he say? He made this dua, and he made a plea to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is in, you find it in Surah Ibrahim, that's chapter number 14. Rabbana, he made the plea, he said, Rabbana, Ya Allah, Inni askantu min dhurriyati. He said, I made my family live biwadin ghayri ذي زرع عند بيتك المحرم. He said, I made my family live in a valley, has no water, has no food. That's it. It won't give you vegetables. There is no water in it. The water came later. And Ibrahim did not lay the foundation of the Kaaba knowing that the water will come later. No, that was not his intention. But he says, Rabbana لِيُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةِ. So I put my family to establish the salat, the ibadah, the worship. And now they need help. He left his wife, he left his son. So they need company. So he made his famous prayer, فَاجْعَلْ أَفْئِدَةً مِّنَ النَّاسِ تَهْوِي إِلَيْهِمْ. Make the hearts of people love this place so they can come and live nearby. That thing happened after the coming of the water of Zamzam. Then the prayer of Ibrahim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responded to the prayer of Ibrahim, and then the people started to come. And the conclusion of the ayah, وَارْزُقْهُمْ مِنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَشْكُرُونَ, and provide them of sustenance so that they can acknowledge the bounties of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, remember this hadith that Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned that there will be 7 people, سبعة يظلهم الله في ظله. 7 people, they will receive the shade of Allah on the day of judgment. And one of them is, it's a person, رجل قلبه معلق في المساجد. It's a person, it's the text says رجل means a man, but we should not always take it to indicate that only man, but رجال can include man and woman because of the concept معلق في المساجد, that not just man would come and do prayers, but also women can come and do the prayers. And especially if we establish the equality that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us of the same source, خلق منها زوجها. So Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, a person whose heart is attached to the masjid. And Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, إِذَا رَأَيْتُمُ الرَّجُلِ, again, there is a man. If you see a person attending frequently the masjid, يَعْتَادُ الْمَسَاجِدِ فَاشْهَدُوا لَهُ بِالصَّلَاحِ, then you can feel comfortable with that person, that this person is trying to establish connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now let's see the concept of building the masajid as it was practiced by Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. What we know, that it was a place to practice tolerance. And we know about the Bedouin. He was passing by, he saw people together. I said, he would go, and he found the place. Then he wanted, he took a side of the masjid. He wanted to urinate. And you know how the Muslims became very angry at him, and they almost jumped on him to kill him. But what Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to them? He said, دعوه. He said, don't interrupt him. You leave him alone until he is done. And once he is done, then they just get some water and clean it, finish. What is that? His tolerance. And after the prayer was done, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam approached this man. He said, I know you are, first time you come here, you are passing by, you don't know who are we, what we are doing. But he said, these places are made for ibadah. And so not for what you did. And this man, he became very happy to hear that, to a degree that he prayed for our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And he says, Allahumma arham Muhammadan. That's it, not those people. He doesn't want. He said, those people no. But Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam corrected him. He said, Hajjarta wasi'an. He said, the rahmah, the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very wide. It cannot be only toward me, toward him, toward Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So, what else? Sometimes we are like hesitant of allowing non-Muslims to come to the masjid. This is emotional reaction, but not an Islamic reaction. Because our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he encouraged every opportunity for a non-Muslim to enter the masjid. Why? Because they will be exposed to our prayers, what we do. If you keep them outside, it's left to their imagination. What do we do in the masjid? So he allowed the Christians to come, and he met with them. There was a delegation of Christians, and those people, they wanted to pray. He said, well, if you believe this is the house of Allah, then you can pray here. And when the time of hijrah, many Muslims started to do their hijrah from Mecca, and they come, they don't find the place, so they used to stay in the masjid. And now in the masjid, there was a special quarter. It's called Ahlus Sufa. Who are Ahlus Sufa? It's like today, like you see the homeless people and those who choose and not to have anything with this life. They have their problems. The issue is not, some people say, oh, they don't have money, but some of them, they do. They can if they want, but they're not interested. So Ahlul Sufa were similar to that. People who choose only to do the ibadah, not to work. They don't want to work. And Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam never criticized them, and he allowed them to stay. Like he did not say, "Oh, you lazy, go, get up and get a robe." And yes, he would tell a Muslim that get a robe and go and collect wood and sell it and make your living. He would tell him that. But if someone already choose, so it was a place also for the people who were not interested in life for one reason or another. And it was also a place for learning, where you find that Muslims used to come and learn about how to read the Quran, learn about their deen, their religion. So the masjid can never be described as, oh, it's only a place of ibadah. It is a social, it is a parliament, it's a place of social gatherings, and it is a place where the Muslims can come and meet each other. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would guide us all to always pay attention to the masajid and always support the masajid financially so that they can play their role in our life. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم. الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا كما أمر، والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبد الله ورسوله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، عباد الله اتقوا الله، أوصيكم وإياي بتقوى الله. من يهده الله فلا مضل له، ومن يضلل فلن تجد له هاديا. This masjid serves the community, and it's doing a great job in taking care of the different needs of the community. And I urge you today to just help pay the expenses. Like I know that my electricity bill that I pay between $600-800 a month, and so imagine here the masjid with the air condition. It means it's a great amount of money. I can easily put over 5,000 or 6,000 a month just for electricity and utilities. So it means if you divide the month on 4 Fridays, it means every Friday they have to make maybe 1,800 just to cover the bill. There are other expenses covered by the donation, the fundraising that they do, but you can see here that all the masajid in general are facing tough, difficult financial situation, and it means we, the community, we need to make up the difference. So as you leave, there are areas, there are boxes, there are places for your donation, and even at home, you can donate online. I like to offer special prayers for all members of the community who are not feeling well today. And I know that there are people who are home, not able to come. They would love, they used to come, but they cannot come because they are not feeling well at home. And there are some who are in hospitals. So I pray to all of them, and I say, Allahumma ashfi anta shafi, Allahumma la shifaa illa shifa'uk, Allahumma rabban nas adhib al-bas. Allahumma ashfi anta shafi. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant all of them comfort, and may Allah have rahmah and mercy on those who departed this earthly life. We ask Allah to have mercy upon us and upon all people of goodwill. We pray to Allah to bring relief to all of those across this world for facing so much a heartache, hardship, and the pain. May Allah bring them relief, ease and tranquility. Ya Allah, bestow on us the blessings of Friday Salat and change our affairs from difficulty into easiness. Allahumma ya man khada'at lahu jami'u al-riqab وجرت بأمره الريح والسحاب احفظنا في الحال والمآب وألهمنا التزود قبل أن ندخل تحت التراب وأرشدنا عند السؤال إلى صحيح الجواب اللهم نجنا من العذاب يوم البعث والحساب اللهم اشف من أتعبه مرضه وتأخر شفاؤه وكثر داؤه وقل دواؤه يا رب العالمين اللهم يا رب اجبر بخاطر من كانت له دعوة حق طلبها منك فأنت أرحم الراحمين اللهم واشف كل نفس لا يعلم بوجعها إلا أنت ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. وصل اللهم وسلم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله، أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة، حي على الفلاح، قد قامت الصلاة، قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر، لا إله إلا الله.
استقيموا.